Welcome and namaste. I'm having today a special guest on my YouTube channel, dear Sonya. Nice to have you here. I just give you the word to say a few words about who are you today. Yes,
Okay.
that's it basically. Who are you today?
Who am I today? Well, thanks for asking, Vanessa. Actually, if you can believe it, I am a mom, a grandma, an aunt. I am an entrepreneur. I am a life coach. I am a grandma. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a partner, and I am a best friend. So for those that were counting, that's 11 plus hats I wear, and that's who I am. All of those roles define me. They don't make me who I am. They define my priorities in life. It's all about designing your life your way and knowing what matters. That's who I am. My name's Sonya. I am a weight loss life coach. I help my clients release the unwanted weight of debt, stress, and pounds. You know what? When you learn to keep the promises to yourself, you're able to design your life your way, and you go from unbearable to unstoppable. That's who I am.
Ooh, I love it. And I really resonate so much with your energy. And we just met maybe like 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. I don't know, but it feels already like a big flow. And I'm so happy I'm connected with you because the topic of weight loss and feeling really good in your body is so important for me. And I love when I saw you in a Facebook group and we were writing about what you do, what's your work about. And I love that you don't focus only on weight loss and you take really the holistic approach, taking as well as a mindset with on board, taking everything on board. And maybe you can explain a little bit more in detail how your process looks like. You were saying about it's about mindset, meals. I cannot replicate it fully, but you take on board because I think it's brilliant and it shows like it's so much needed that we detach in our diet culture from only the goal of losing weight and see the whole picture. So let's go.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So when I'm working with any of my clients, we talk about these 4 pillars: meals, movement, mindset, and your relationship with money. You know, when we're making these changes, you're absolutely right, Vanessa. If you go through my Facebook group, my page, any of my socials, you will notice, first of all, I've been in the industry for over 12 years, starting off as a personal trainer, then a nutrition coach, a weight loss coach is what it was, and weight loss and healthy eating. And then now a life coach, where I encompass it all together. And I call myself a weight loss life coach because the weight you're losing isn't physical pounds. The weight you're losing is your relationship, your paradigm with yourself, the stories that are part of your life because of people in your life that you choose to listen to because you don't know any better. And, you know, a personal story is when I was a little girl, my mom would tell me that I was too fat to wear a bikini.
Oh, wow.
Not once, but over and over again, or I was pleasantly plump. Well, whether you rub it off, like let it roll off your shoulders or not, it starts to get to you. Fast forward to this weekend, and I am 48 years old. I'll be 49 in July. And my mom, bless her heart, she's 76. She's a good soul. And it took me a long time to realize she doesn't mean harm. And we need to keep this in mind. We are who we are based on the 5 people that we hang out with the most. And throughout your whole life, that was mainly teachers and family when you were younger. And then that changed to your peer group when you're a little bit older. And then that changed to who you go to work with or who you choose to marry or whatever it looks like. But you've evolved over that time. And if you haven't, you should think about that. Because if you're still hanging out with the people that you've hung out with when you were a child, how have you grown? Have you grown as an individual, or have you grown as another version of them, as a combined version of them? And, you know, Vanessa, you and I were talking off camera about our travels and our dreams and our goals and what we're working on and exploring. And both of us in different parts of the world have talked about, you know, wanting to explore more. Vanessa is doing what I will love to do one day at the right time. She just said explore more, whatever that looks like. She may have broken it down differently, and go with me on this. I sidebar on my stories, but I bring it back together eventually. So here's the thing. Her exploring more means supporting her partner and doing different countries and living the culture and the experience. And it's a completely different version of what I say, explore more. When for me, I was and we're both probably, based on what I've learned of her already, we were both pretty open with what we meant by explore more. And we just accepted the opportunities that showed up, didn't question what they looked like. So for me, when I said, literally, I wrote on my journal this year, one of my goals was to explore more. Where May 24th, 2022, I just came back from a weekend trip to go to New Jersey, because I'm in Canada. Okay, so I went to New Jersey, USA, and that meant we hit 3 different states. The 3 different states I hit over the weekend. That's exploring more, right? Yes. Going to the New Jersey shore and traveling. That's a version of exploring more. Go back a month at the very end of April, I took my youngest daughter to a cross-country trip to Edmonton, Alberta. For those that aren't familiar, this is the other end of Canada. From like we're central-ish, central east. They are completely the other side of Canada with one province over. It was a 30-hour car ride, but we went through the United States. Wow. So we hit 5 different states there as well. My exploring more so far this year has led to 9 different American states. Maybe 10 if I do my math right, but I'm just talking loosely now. I know it was 5 and 3, so I guess that's 8. Wrong on both accounts. Guys, you're getting real. You're getting real. And what is cool about real is we don't see enough of it. But real means vulnerability. Real means being authentic. Real means sharing from my heart. So exploring more, look, both Vanessa and I so far this year have really explored more. We've explored a lot more, and it looks different for both of us. My mom's perception of me being a chubby little girl or pleasantly plump had probably a different version for her than it did for me. Yeah. A different outcome for her than it did for me. This weekend, my mom was at a friend's house of mine, and we were talking about making some changes in the backyard and that. And now I'm coming back from a weekend, a 9-hour trip. I'm doing, most of my good clothes are in laundry, of course, because we want to bring our favorites or comfies or the heat. It was really, really hot. So I knew I couldn't wear my bra had to be washed. Both my good bras had to be washed. So I just kind of put on like a bralette. My mom literally came and pinched my skin above my back boob and down. She found skin to pinch. And she's like, why do you wear bras that make it so I can pinch your skin? And I'm like, I am 48 years old, and my mom still says this about me. Okay. So clearly, there's work that needs to be done on that. And if I hadn't been doing work on myself, this would completely have affected who I am.
Yes. And we are right now in Mercury retrograde. So for everyone who's watching, these topics are popping up again and again, so we can look deeper at them as well. It's not a sign, oh, you haven't looked at it enough. No, these things can pop up right now really and show us again, oh, that's a point where you need to look at as well. If someone listening has the same, like unpleasant things coming up from childhood memories, which are sitting very deep, and these wounds are often very deep in us. So it is a beautiful invitation to look at it again and to heal it, and then we see how we can make the progress and explore as well these wounds on a deeper level. And as you were saying that so beautifully, we all have a different version of explore more, and sometimes we only take a measurement of me, for example, traveling really literally around the world. But who says that you need to travel around the whole world to explore more? I can be very living in my own bubble, even so I'm jetting around the whole world, and I cannot see much when I'm not open and willing to learn. So always seeing these things, and you can explore as well your own life and your own truth and your own perspective and your own shadows, your own wounds, which are coming up. And so you can as well get the invitation to drop maybe even more weight on that journey emotional weight. Yeah.
And that's, you know what, Vanessa, that is just it. In a different vibration, I honestly would have responded completely different with the fact, yeah, Mom, my other bras are in the wash.
Yeah.
I would have had a completely different approach if I was vibrating lower.
Yeah.
Right. And that is growth. That is eliminating stress, because in the past, a different version of you, or perhaps you're listening to this and we've all been there. This was, I'm sure, a version of you and a version of me and a version of most of us, especially when it comes to our parents.
Yeah.
Or somebody we innately respect 100%. We aspire to have different things that they have. My parents have been married, and I don't know how, nobody knows how, but they've been married for 51 years. They've been married for 51 years this year. When they met, my mother didn't speak English and my dad didn't speak French.
Yeah.
51 years. Most people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So we are more of a disposable society. They were more of a fix-it society.
Yeah.
You know, we've made a commitment, we fix things. They don't throw things out, they don't waste.
Yes.
Right? We are, oh, it doesn't taste good, we'll throw it out, we'll complain, we'll get a new one.
Yeah.
How is that serving us? It's changing our sense of expectation to beyond immediate gratification, and it's deflecting our responsibilities and our roles for our life.
Yes, and as well, when we are together with a person for so long, or we have, as you were saying earlier, the same friend group maybe for so long, and then we personally go through a period of change, we change our identity, we change our being, we level up our energy, then it's sometimes very hard for our people around us to even recognize us anymore, and they try to bring us back into our old labels. But you've always been like this, you've always been like this, why are you now like this? So people try to get us back into our old version, or maybe that are even certain parts. I always like to reflect it back on myself. These are often parts of like maybe still some self-doubts about myself, where I criticize myself, where I'm not really sure, is that really now my new identity? So I see it, I'm getting tested to even stand up more for my truth and speak my truth even further, and not going back and shying back and saying like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not that way anymore. I feel like we don't need to excuse when we are changing ourselves and we are evolving and we are up-leveling our energy.
That you've hit like the bullseye, because it is so easy when we're being tested. There's not a sign saying, hey, stop, slow down, you're being tested. And I'm openly going to share about this. I had my best month ever in March. Okay. My best month ever. So I know I'm being tested right now. I'm 90% sure I felt the vibration change significantly this morning, but I've been in business for 12 years. I've had the ups and downs. I closed my studio when COVID hit. So I don't have a fitness studio anymore. I know how to bounce back. I can write the book on tenacity. As a divorcee to two people, like to two men, I can write the book on tenacity and what it means to me, and that I will, one thing I know, I will pause, pivot, and proceed. And I've written a chapter in a book about that. But here's the thing. So you need to know, part of this story that I'm going to share is my parents are 76. Okay, they're doing well, they're healthy, but still they're 76. They're not 20, 30, 40. Okay. My oldest daughter, who is 23, no, maybe she's 24. Any mom listening to this gets it. You don't always remember when there's a bunch. Born in 99, my friend. No, that's my male daughter. Born in 98, my friend.
98,
so
yes.
My oldest daughter, she has a beautiful boy by the name of Hudson. And you'll see him on my clips and my videos. I'm very open about my family, because when I was 23, moved away. I had my first baby at 24. I got married and I moved to Calgary, and I spread my wings the way my mom came from Quebec to Ontario. So we have a little natural curiosity to want to explore. So go with me here. We're talking about going to Calgary, coming back, knowing Brooke's there, exploring, but I help with both taking care of my parents a little bit when they need something. Not often yet because they're still very healthy, but attention, things like that. And Megan needs a lot of help with childcare. There is no childcare right now because of COVID. The numbers have changed. Hudson just turned 2. So Megan was, okay, so let's go back to March. I had my best month ever in March. Okay.
Congratulations.
But now you guys have these details. Thank you. I knocked my April goals out of the park in March. Remember, right now we're talking about tenacity. We're talking about opinions. We're talking about pressure in society and changes. And we're putting this together in one little package. A story that Vanessa's going to have to reel me in sometimes because I get excited. I love storytelling. You can see what I'm like when I do workshops as well. I just get people so engaged and curious, right?
Yes, I love it. I love to listen to you.
Okay, so I guess you'll love my podcast too then. So here's the thing. So we're talking, I decide in April, Megan was sick. That's my oldest daughter. She was sick. I actually took a part-time job in January where I could bring my grandson to work with me. Who does that? Like, who says I can only take the job if I can bring my grandson to work? Okay, and they said yes, no problem. But I'm one person still. I'm running a business. I was working part-time, helping out wherever I could. So you come to March, I make it through the month. I'm crushing April's goals in many different ways. And I end up getting sick in April. First week in April, Megan was sick in March, whatever. I ended up getting really sick in April. And my mom said to me, Sonya, you're doing too much. I tell you all the time, you're doing too much. But I love this. And I'm like, okay, maybe, again, I call her Negative Nelly. That's my paradigm's name. Her name's Negative Nelly. For those that have ever watched Little House on the Prairie, there was a Nelly in that show. And I think her personality stuck with me. So not that I use, but what I don't want to be like. So Negative Nelly is my paradigm, and I've named her. And the first thing she said to me was, oh, Mom, and this is what I said to my mom, Negative Nelly spoke first. I said, Mom, why can everybody else be sick, but I can't be sick? Megan was just sick. You were just sick. Why can't I be sick? Why are you suddenly labeling me for doing too much? First thing I said. 2 days later, I quit my job, my part-time job. No notice, nothing. I couldn't do it. My mom was right. Whether it was my mom speaking, divine intervention, something made me shift my story to know that if I continued doing what I was doing, I would continue not to be designing my life my way. So I took courage. I found courage. I quit my part-time job, focused on my business. Fast forward a month and a half later, so not 2 months yet, but a month and a half later, and I have not brought in one client, one new paid gig, nothing since April. I've had multiple conversations with people. Multiple people have said yes. However, something changed from one area or another. I've not brought in one piece of new business since I quit my job. Wow. So now now Negative Nelly is showing up. Okay, did you make a mistake? You see, you should be doing the old school thing. You should be working for somebody else. Negative Nelly showed up.
Yes.
But I've been doing the work. Every day I do the affirmations. Every day I journal. Every day I meditate. Lately, I'm going to come back to this, but I actually released 10 pounds without even realizing it when I did my road trip with Brooke and came back.
Wow.
Here's why. Okay, so here's why. So I could sit in the story of what is true, okay, but I can ask myself, what else is true? Well, what else is true is I'm still showing up each day. I'm still doing the work. I am open and ready to receive, and I will even put more resumes out there if that's what the universe needs to see to move things along. Okay, what else is true? It is important to me to support my family.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go with what we know is true, and then we can take 5 minutes and ask ourselves, what else is true? What else is true is I had some goals written in my planner, and I need to show you this because this is really cool.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's your own
That's
planner as well. You created it and you can buy as well that planner. I love planners.
Yeah, and that's not what I was going to show you, but I want to show you this. So okay, so I guess I'll take you back. In April? Yeah. In March. Hang on, what's the date? Is this my first month or my second month? Hang on. My planners I picked up in March or April. I'm just trying to think of what month it was, and I started using them April. So April 22nd, I physically picked up these planners at the end of March. So they're meant for a space that you can write in the month. These are not dated, if you can believe it. Okay. Before I talk about my planner, I want to remind me to come back to this. I want to continue to share with you the rest of the story about patience, tenacity, divine timing, stepping into feminine energy, which is what we're going to talk about in a second.
Holding that space as well, what you're
holding that space
right now. Yes.
Yeah. So not only did I hit a financial roadblock, call it whatever you will, I also, that's my dog. I also submitted my taxes here in Canada. They have to be done by the end of April. I used my accountant. Normally it's a 3 or 4 day turnaround. I have not received any of that money yet. And we're at we're talking 3 weeks at this point. Okay. So that's another, the barrier was whatever's going on financially with my business, then not receiving in due time the money that I was expecting from the government. And the third one was, I even said to my husband, I will even sell my house, not our house, but my rental that I have, that I had met before, or that I bought before I met him. I said, I'll even sell my rental so I have a capital so I can get through the peaks and valleys of business, because every business is like this. I don't care how big or small you are. I'm just open enough to talk about it.
Yes.
But you'd be just like life. There's peaks and valleys. So I even said to Tony, I will sell my rental if I have to. So we talked about this earlier in the month. And because I hit a bit of a dry spell and the markets are good, I'm going to sell the rental. I can pay myself a salary, which will give me a full year to work on my business, right? And get through the peaks and valleys and only draw on it if I need to. That's my plan. Eliminate my debt, eliminate the stress, have us, because that has another effect, right? That brings us closer together as a couple versus us each having our own space. So it changes the dynamics in more than one area. However, the tenants wanted, I told the tenants over 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, that I was going to sell. They wanted first crack. It took about a week before we kind of went back and forth and agreed that there's nothing that they can do. And they know I'm going to put it up for sale. Okay. Then I called my real estate agent. She needed to call in a photographer. We go to the house. I reached out to the tenants to book to go into the house, but they all had COVID. So now we have to wait the 2 weeks to go in the house to take photos, or actually a week we had to wait. And then they're finally going in this week to take photos to put the house on the market. In the meantime, the housing market is starting to drop a little bit. So I said to my husband at first, I'm like, I said to him yesterday, I said, I'd be really, really mad if I am losing value on this house. But I didn't say that with feelings. I said it almost as casually as I did right now. And I think I said that to him one day. And then I came to him last night and I said, actually, I won't be mad because I know it's divine timing. I know this is all happening. All of this, my friends, is all happening. Whatever you just heard right there, you heard the fact I had courage to follow my dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to my planner and show you exactly what those dreams are that I wrote down in April. And you're going to be like, what? Which is going to excite me. Okay. So we're going to come back to that in a second. I found courage to speak my truth and to live my truth. That's huge. Okay. I followed up on that commitment. I didn't sit there in limbo. I'm like, I need to do this. The world needs me. My clients need me. I need to make myself available so I can receive.
Yes.
Okay. Then not receiving the financial fines I was expecting on, because the money that was expected to come in based on my return, my tax return here, would have gotten me through into the household with whatever clients I brought in. But now, in that period of time, I had to learn to communicate. I had to learn to be open to truly receive by asking for help, whatever it looked like. I had to learn to be open to gifts that people were willing to give me, whether it was theta healing, whether it was a shoulder to cry on, whether it was to be truly authentic with my story and who I am and what I'm going through at this moment, and share how that affects your feelings. Of course, you're not showing up as your best self when you slip into scarcity, but it's not scarcity, and that's the thing. It wasn't the root chakra. It wasn't scarcity and security that I was slipping in, to tell you the truth. That's where I thought I was stuck. I was actually stuck in the sacral chakra about my personal power and not believing in myself anymore because of everything that was going on around me. I let those voices and those paradigms of negative Nellie and her friends believe, set in my mind and help me believe that story. And that's not true.
Yes.
Right? That's a passing cloud. That's a passing moment. It's just taking a little bit longer to get through.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right, Vanessa. We're being taught lessons with every interaction. Proof of this weekend is I had some business cards when I went to the States. And first thing is first, I truly believe that whenever we meet people, we get to learn something. If we're open enough, we get to learn something. And if I don't learn anything about you today, although I'm talking, I wasn't meant to meet you, which isn't the case. So there's always a lesson to be learned, a story, a book recommend, something.
Yeah.
So I intentionally grabbed some business cards, put them in my purse when I went to the States. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to learn this weekend, but I know I'm meant to be on this trip.
Yeah.
Right. I'm meant to be. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in my life right now. And I am meant to be on this trip this weekend. So, and then it was funny. So I learned a whole bunch about the structure, about putting things together differently about my day when we learned about what my son's school structure was going to be like. I'm like, this might work for me. This might work for my life. I might be able to implement this myself. Cool. Maybe this is what I meant to learn. I also went with Tony, my partner, and then Nathan's mom and her partner. So I got to hang out with my stepson. I say my son, but my stepson's mom, which is my partner's old partner, right? Which in itself can be a little awkward. We had meals all the time. We stayed at the same hotel, not the same room. We kind of drove, not really, the driving really wasn't affected, but I had to be open to what that lesson was to teach me, or that opportunity would not have come up.
Yeah.
Yes. On our way back, Tony kept on saying he wanted to go to Dunkin' Donuts. We couldn't, because it's equivalent to Tim Hortons here in St. Thomas, or in Ontario, in Canada. But we couldn't find one. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, right there. And he turned around and he got in and we found this Dunkin' Donuts. So while we're in this Dunkin' Donuts, a little girl comes up to me. She complimented my shirt. And we started talking. She was telling me that she's being bullied at school. And her mom was right there, and her mom was talking about taking her out and self-schooling her. Tony and I ended up just talking to this little girl and her mom for about 20 minutes. I gave them my card. I learned something, and I gave them my card. So let's go back to my planner for 1 second and understand.
Yes. I love your story, and it's like really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I feel that inspires so many people right now, because I am sometimes as well. It's like this Mercury retrograde is really hard on me as well. And you inspire me to open up about it as well. And it's like, yeah, it can be heavy right now. And hearing that from you, so vulnerable, your story, how it goes, and leaning into that trust and not going back to the old fear-based version of us, rather than holding the vision, even so we haven't received yet. And that is sometimes very challenging.
It is very challenging. And you need to be aware of every feeling that you acknowledge along the way. It doesn't matter where you're at and what journey you're after, right? So you're looking to release 30 pounds or 100 pounds. There are going to be hard days. Well, you know what else is true? You can do hard things. You've survived 100% of the hard days you've gone through so far. So what would make this time different? Being honest about it and asking for help. Taking a step back. Understanding that this is part of the process, that it's literally like a dark cloud, and this too shall pass.
Yeah. So, and having someone like you on your side when you're going through that process, and you're not from your common circle, from your family, from your friends who maybe tell you, oh, come on, come back to the old you, rather than having someone where you can really release it, emotions, and a safe space and a safe container with a person who then empowers you again to go for your goals and go for your truth and live your truth. And now I'm excited to see your planner, because I know that it's a very powerful tool to have as well on your side for your self-development, for your self-reflection.
Well, and it's cool. I'm going to show you this one page that I worked on. I'll show you all the front of the planner first, and then I'll flip over to this page. So this is called Design Your Life Your Way Planner. It is a perpetual planner. Nothing is dated in here. So you can pick it up and have your planner for June 1st if you order it now.
Yes.
Okay, so order it on Amazon. It comes with, and I would recommend this, you pay an extra $20 for this one on Amazon, but this is called the Getting Started Guide. And it talks about meals, movement, mindset, your relationship with money. But the planner, my friends, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mom, if you're wearing more than 2 of those hats I listed at the very beginning, especially if you want more out of your life. So I don't really care who you are, but at the end of the day, if you are working towards anything, this planner is for you. So as I showed you before, and I showed you this off screen, I think, these aren't dated, right? So you actually put the date in whatever you want. And at the bottom, I said to create my first mastermind, my first course, my book club mastermind. I worked on that. So you can write things here. Throughout April, I wrote out my monthly milestones, everything I accomplished in April.
That's
beautiful. So you guys heard me say earlier, I haven't brought any money in since April. But look how full I filled up this page. Of still successes.
Yes.
Still successes. Okay. So I'm just flipping over a couple of pages here. I'm not going to show you the whole planner, but I want to show you this page. I want to go over this page. And I know you probably can't read my handwriting because it's special. It was made just for me.
So this is your
okay.
monthly goals. No.
My monthly goals for April. Yeah.
Yes.
So sorry, this is my monthly goals for the quarter. So let me explain the book. The book starts off as quarterly, then it goes to monthly, then it goes weekly, and you've got daily pages to update within the week. So we're looking at my plan for the quarter between now and July 1st. Okay. The first thing here along the sides are my goals, the 4 goals that I want to accomplish. And I'm going to read them to you. Let's see if I can read them backwards. Reach $10,000 in sales by July 1st, 2022. And I broke that down to reach 5K in April. Okay. Release, now check out the language, release 15 pounds by July 1st, 2022. And I broke it down. I wanted to release 5 pounds by April 30th. Lower my debt by 5% by July 1st, 2022. Add space to my calendar, add space to my CEO calendar by April 2022, April 30th, 2022. So those are the goals. Okay, now there's a couple, I'm sure if you've been paying attention, that I've already knocked off. So let's go over here. Let's go over here to my action steps.
Yeah.
Okay, so my action steps.
I cannot read the action step anymore, but I love it because it's so important. Like, we need goals, and as well we need to set up actionable steps we can actually do. Yes.
So we're going to ignore what I can't read. We'll circle back to that. But on the next page, and I did 3 of these pages, this is called project planning.
Yes.
Okay. So my one was to release 5 pounds, because now we're looking into the end. So I took the quarterly goals and I broke them down to monthly goals.
Yes.
Right. So release 5 pounds, but by the end of April, I had released 10 pounds when I came back from my road trip with my daughter.
Wow.
So of the 15 I wanted to release, I released 10. Okay. Now, I know you don't know me well enough, but there's a whole backstory to that. We'll talk about that another day. So you're not talking to a life coach here that doesn't know how to lose weight. That's not the point. I actually have physical restrictions. And for 4 years, I've been in physio for my ankles, both of them, where I was barely able to walk when COVID started. So that's a whole different conversation, not what today's about. And if anybody follows me on YouTube or social media, you'll be able to hear more about that journey as well. So the point is, before the end of April, I had released 10 pounds and I wanted to release 5 pounds. Okay. 5% closer to financial freedom. Well, that's not going to happen this month if I didn't make any sales. Okay. Reach 5K in sales by April. But you know what I did do? I did create space in my calendar.
Yes.
And that was, yes, I did start designing my CEO life. I did travel more. I did release the weight. So success can look different. And that's what I teach people to look at. Success isn't a matter of calories in, calories out, a certain shape and size. Success is finding out what else matters. Well, why does it matter to me to release the 15 pounds? So it's easier to move my body so I can do the things I love, so I can be proactive and not be stressed out.
Yeah.
Right? My physique is a side effect to how I feel.
Yeah.
And when you learn to tap into the feelings, why do I want to lower my debt load by 5%? Okay, so that may not have happened yet. However, we talked about my refunds coming in. We talked about me putting my house up for sale.
Yes.
Once I put my house up for sale, I'll knock this goal right out of the park because everything will be paid off.
Yeah.
And it'll look different, right? So I have taken action. That's by the end of July 1st. I'm sure I will be 5% lower in debt July 1st.
Yeah.
So it's the actions that you take to help you get your goals. We are 2/3 of the way in to this quarter. I don't have to knock all my goals off in this particular month.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. It's looking at things differently. It's like, okay, you don't have to lose all of your weight this week. You need to learn how to stay consistent with the things that bring you joy so you continue to take action in those areas. So for you, for me, it could be running again. For you, it could be riding a bike, doing yoga, or boxing with your husband, right? It can look differently for everybody. But it's a matter of finding what brings you joy, which is easy to miss when we slip into things that we don't think is working. You know what this told me, this whole exercise? I valued money originally. My negative Nelly values money more than she values taking care of my health, taking care of my well-being, and taking care of my mindset. So when I learned to ask for help and to reach out and to accept the test that I've been given, my shoulders go a lot lower to my ears. I take the time to do something like a run and yoga. I'm choosing better foods to eat because I have more space in my calendar.
Yeah.
I am lowering my stress. I am losing weight, and the debt will follow. It doesn't matter the order.
Yeah. And the clients will come in because you are having a different appearance. You are still in your highest vibration you can be in right now because you nurture yourself. You live an example. You're not only teaching other people that they should take care and take time for themselves. No, you create that space and you embody deeper and deeper that actually person who inspires others to do the same. And you're not only telling others to create that space, and you're not doing it for yourself because you are at the end burned out. And I see that often that coach buyers themselves are burned out because they're just coaching too much, doing so many different things, and then there's no time and space left anymore to fill your cup. And creating that freedom in your life can be a tremendous journey of leaning into trust. And I have as well my journeys with up and down, and sometimes nothing is working in my business, sometimes it's going pretty amazing and I'm happy, and then there are periods where I just need to surrender and as well ask for help, going that vulnerable step and being open to receive that help. And
And you said something. First of all, I hope everybody listening to this understands how real we are. My dogs are barking. My daughter from Alberta just called. This is the type of people, whether it's Vanessa or myself, that will hop on a call and have an intuitive conversation with you. This is who you want in your corner. because they're taking their textbooks, they're always growing with personal development, they are learning from each other. I have a coach, I'm sure you have a coach, or 20, or whatever it looks like. You want to connect with somebody like us because we've done the work, but we continue to do the work and practice what we preach daily. But when it comes time to coaching you, it's intuitive.
Yes.
When it comes to us talking right now, it's intuitive. It's real. It's almost as if you're literally sitting there having coffee with a friend.
Yes.
A friend that you can trust, that won't go anywhere. And that's who you want to work with. That's who you want to open up with.
Yeah, and I think that's for me the concept of the new time. Like that's a new time of leadership of our life. And really, we are all leaders, in my opinion, if we are leading our family, if we are leading our own life, if we are leader of our business, if we are leading, whatever we are leading, but we are leaders. And this is the leadership of the new time on really allowing us to go with the flow, going with our intuition, and having not a 1, 2, 3 step or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. We are just like working through here, just that we can present ourselves as the most best how we could be here and showing off how great we are. No, it is more of showing how real we are, how we are going through the same, and we are going through the experience, maybe on a different level, maybe on the same level, whatever. The only thing is that we are really committed to being in love with ourselves, with our body and our environment, and spreading that out into the world. We are dedicated to a bigger mission, I feel, to bring a bigger influence of loving our bodies how they are right now, and loving ourselves and loving our true path.
Vanessa, I couldn't agree more. I am lucky that I found my passion and purpose. And I do you agree? Do you feel the same with you, that you found your,
absolutely.
But I remember when I was younger, I was thinking like, I have no idea what I'm going to be when I grow up. I don't know. And I wish I had a talent, but all along I had a talent. It came to me in layers at a time with every single experience, with every single interaction. And after 49 years, that's a heck of a lot of experience, my friends. And that's the same thing with Vanessa. That's the same thing with coaches that you connect with. You know, think about, what do you want out of life? Are they teaching you to lean into the feeling and how to get through those dark days, shine bright? Vanessa had said to me earlier, she wrote a book, Finding the Hidden Beauty in Dark Times. And I wrote a book called Your Story Matters, right here. It became an international bestseller on Amazon. But thank you. And it's all about learning who you are and getting through your paradigms, but more importantly, taking the time to accept who you are. And in my workshop, I'm actually doing a workshop next week. I'm going to do a little plug if it's okay.
Yes,
it's a free workshop. It's on my link tree. Wherever you find this, we'll have my link tree included. It's called Essentially You. And it's a workshop series. You need to register to get the recording. It's going to be 3 to 4 days recording. You're going to get so much value out of this, but more importantly, you're really going to see how real I am. You're really going to learn. Most people share their stories after they made it through the other side. Guys, I am being so vulnerable. I am sharing my story as I'm going through it, as I am going through Q2 of 2022. And I know that's corporate talk as we're talking about intuitions and feelings, but that's the thing. We don't need to separate this. Society has told us for years to separate business and personal, professional and personal, but we're one person. We need to find who we are and not be afraid to show that to the world. And then you'll realize that you're less stressed. Yes. You're not eating as much. You're wanting to move your body more because you're happier, because a body in motion creates more motion because it's energy, right? That's going to help you. Here's the thing. Here's the magic. And I know I showed you this earlier. Let's go back to the beginning. Design your life your way. So what I say is we are the CEOs of our life.
Yes.
You know, you need to create your CEO schedule, but it doesn't matter who you are. You're the CEO of your life. You're the chief energy officer. You're the chief executive officer. You're in charge of your life. Are you living your life like that?
Yes.
In every way? Or in what ways can you move? Some things you can plant seeds. And as my daughter reminded me, you need to water those seeds every day. You just can't be finding new seeds and planting them. You need to water them and give them love and give them attention. And some days that attention and the love needs to go to you as well. So there's the work, which is the masculine energy, which is easy to do when things aren't going your way, because we're looking for that instant gratification. We're looking to prove negative Nelly wrong. We're not willing to accept that everything happens in divine timing, because we're not used to that, right? But when we step into that, it means we're going into feminine energy. Our creativity comes out. We've done the work. What did I write? I wrote this down. My new affirmation. I've already done the work. Now I'm ready for the money to come in. I am open to receive. I've done the work. It's time to spend the rest of my time, not all of my time, in joy. So to work for a couple of hours and then to go play in the garden for an hour.
Yes.
To work for a couple of hours and then cook a nice dinner for our family, because I'm designing my life my way. And that doesn't mean being married to social media or online. It means living my life. I can go for a run. I can go for a bike ride. I can take the dogs for a walk. And oh, he heard me. But and it's easy when we don't feel like we're getting the results that we're used to getting, which is now.
Yeah.
So then we self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Easily. We fall off the rails. Things get hard.
Yeah, we only see what's not there yet, and then we panic, and in that panic mode, nothing is relaxed anymore. And I really love what you're saying with your way, finding your way. I'm as well the type of coach. I'm not telling you your strategy or how you need to operate, or I'm not the person who telling you what way you should go. I always want to encourage you to go your own way, to find your own way, explore your own way. And it's so valuable when we both, you and I, we share our way, we share how we do it. And from that, you can learn how to find as well your own way. And as I was showing you earlier, my cards I created with my mom that reminded me just to the cards. And that's, by the way, the card love I just picked. And it is like, there's no word, no affirmation on that card, because first of all, you need to check in. What does the card mean for you right now in that moment? And we are always taught in school or somewhere else, there's a system, there's a strategy. You need to follow this, you need to follow this, but we are not taught to find our own way, our own strategy, how we operate. This is why I love numerology. I love to work with the numbers to understand your strategy in a better way. Explore your strategy. That's numerology for me. Explore how you can create a success path to be your CEO, your leader in your life. And do you know your life path number, by the way?
Do I know my what?
Your life path number. Have you heard about numerology? We haven't.
Well, I do numerology all the time, but I see numbers all the time.
Yes,
all the time. Like anywhere between 3 to 10 sets of numbers a day. I can just look at the clock, like 1, 2, 3, 3, and know that that's a number. But I don't know what you just asked me.
Yeah, your life path number. This is basically your life path, what you are designed, which challenges, which tasks do you have to master in your lifetime. This is your life path number. There are like more numbers as well to consider, like your birthday. When you get like a full reading, I look at your birthday number, at your life path number. Then you have a destiny number, which is your career path, and like that, it's a whole world to discover. But I will give you for sure after our recording. If you feel free, you can share your birthday with me, and I give you a little insight in your life path number. Maybe that's a beautiful thing as well for you to discover. And I love the numbers because it helped me a lot to understand I'm a life path 34/7, which means with the 7 I need to learn to trust, to be open and to trust. And I'm a vessel. I'm always like studying, researching, and this is what I feel I do with traveling. I'm like studying and researching constantly as well. This is what I do with my YouTube channel. I research, and then I bring it out into the world, and on a larger scale, I teach then what I learned. And this is as well my mission, to be open to, like, I have to master, to be in my isolation, to study, to learn, and then to open up again and to bring it out. So finding a balance between the isolation and the openness to connect, and as well to trust. And this is what I have to learn in my relationships. I often had in past relationships partner who were leaving me suddenly out of the blue. I had, my dad was passing away 6 years ago out of the blue, very suddenly. So I always have these interruptions in my field around me where I get tested, where my trust get tested, where I am basically forced to trust deeper in myself, to trust deeper in my abilities and in my gifts and in my talents. And this is why I love numerology so much, because it's a tool to connect back with my strengths, with my gifts, and to connect back as well, to face my shadows as well, because it's as well shadow work, numerology, for me, because it shows you your shadows. It shows you off as well when you're not on the right path, and it connects me always back with, oh yeah, okay, I remember this is happening for me. It's not happening against me or to make my life harder. No, it's happening for me, so I can trust more, so I can be more open. And yeah.
It's, you know what, it is so true, isn't it? Like, it's refreshing. And I'll be honest, Vanessa, it's so refreshing to hear other people say that. And friends, when you're listening to this, as you transition through life and you don't even know you're transitioning, you're leaving things behind because they no longer serve you. And it's going to feel exactly how Vanessa said, isolating. I remember 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, when I started to fall in love with myself and I took on this great fitness regime, and I was in my late 30s, because my reflection in my mirror wasn't smiling back at me anymore. It wasn't. And I deserved different. I deserved better. And this was the beginning for me of a bunch of things. So the thing is, I could say I had no friends during that journey at all. Everybody thought I was crazy for taking care of myself and for making food choices. They were no longer part of my journey. We separated. I had to find a new network because I was open to growth so much. Even now, I still have my friends from high school. I can still pick up, and I'm sure you're not surprised, Vanessa, if I saw you, it'd be like, we've known each other forever. But even when I reunite with people that I've known, it's as if time has never, it's just stood still. And it took me forever to realize this is my gift. This is my gift, is I am not learning. I am learning and growing just like you are, a vessel, a sponge, and I've always been. But now I know how to work with it, where we're not in control. We are being led where we need to go in our life. And you don't have to be religious to be spiritual. And I've learned that too. You can be spiritual in your own way, but once you tap into that and believe that there is more than just what you're going through right now, you can flip that script and exactly what you said. This is not happening to me. This is happening for me. And mark my words, I am going to be getting offered a job, and my coaching business is going to blow up, and I am going to be tested with, which one do you really want? Yep. That's going to be my test at the end of the day. And once you choose that, your house will sell or not. But not that you can't do both, but if you do both, you're going, like, I'm going to be tested. Because right now I'm being like, I'm going to be having a choice at the end of this. And how many of you have had those choices? I'm sure we've all had those choices where we've had to choose. And we always think one is better than the other. We always think one shines brighter than the other. However, you can never make a wrong choice, ever. Ever. And once you believe that, who cares what you eat? Because you're not making the wrong choice. You're just eating less of whatever that might be. You're not on a diet. You are literally living your life based on feeling, and it's so different than what we're used to. And you're going to attract the right people to help you succeed on that next journey.
I love it. I love so much that we connected here, and I need to say our time is almost over. I know we have both another session after our call right now, but I just want to say, like, for everyone watching here, it's definitely a gift of being coached by you, because we just know this 1.5 hours or how long we are talking now in total. And I feel very safe with you opening up vulnerably about myself. This is really a big gift you have, and I feel so natural in your environment. And this is for me such a big gift. Yeah, everyone can have being coached by you, of a person who's really trying to encourage you to find your own way, do it your own way. And you have so many beautiful tools, your planner, your books. I absolutely love it. I love it so much to be connected here with you. I will put the links in the description box below, and as well your live workshop for everyone who's still on it. Yeah, I would like, probably I might join it as well. I like
This is awesome. And before we go, I want to say I have a whole bunch of crystals beside me, and I kind of closed my eyes and I wasn't looking, and I picked one, and this is the one that came up today. So I don't know if you can see the green. Yes. It's a soft green. I'm trying to think of which one it is offhand. But I don't even care which ones they are. I grab with the feeling, and then if I can't figure it out, it leads the conversation. So, yeah, I had to share this bit.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's great meeting you. And I know this is just the beginning.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.